Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
I've got it at 0.0 decibels. If it's too big, then I don't know what.
I'll bring it down.
Can you bring me down?
You
bring me down.
It's the first rule of acting, right? Make a bold choice, go big, and then go home.
And let the director pay you back. And then go home because you've done it correctly the first time.
Everybody knows that's the rule of acting.
Everybody knows this.
Well,
It is known.
Here we are with a hi, buddy boy.
How you doing?
I'm doing swell. Sort of.
Swell as you can?
Yeah, I would say every day is a winding road, as the song goes.
Every day is a winding road. Every day is a miracle.
Every day is a miracle. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, I had water before.
Oh, you got to bring water this time.
I'm going to stretch.
Go do. You got to get
Headphones. Headphones are too.
So I want to know, you must have, okay, for the listeners of the show that are tuning in and seeing now, Noel and I, our home setup is getting more and more sophisticated. And now we've got these individual mics in front of us. And
I didn't close the door. I'm sorry. I got to close the door because the whole reason I'm in the room, in my bedroom, showing you my intimate space
is that
so
audio
that
purity.
My kids can live in the rest of the house.
Right.
One moment.
Okay.
Jacob, if you could vamp.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, I want to suck your blood. oh, like vaudevillian. He can't even. It's not like I can check with him.
The hilarious part about this whole thing, is that in order to make this setup work, I've had to put myself into this concocted space because I don't have a desk in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Maybe other people do. I don't.
Yeah.
So I've got a hamper. It'd actually be hilarious to record the recording from the side of what this is, but I've got a hamper upside down with my computer on it.
I love
that.
And
then this microphone thing, this goes way above with the pole. I borrowed this from my daughter.
That's amazing.
So that it would hold up because there's not room on my hamper or my computer to make the sticks that came with Jacob's, as you can see if you're watching the thing.
Yeah, here, I'll show them mine.
I've got this. There it is. See, 3C? How convenient that is?
That probably made so much noise on my microphone as I did that. Sorry, listeners. I'll fix that.
People love that, though.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, go on.
Anyways, but getting in and out of it to just do something simple like find the water I forgot or close the door is like a whole thing. I have to not hit any of the parts and then weave in and out between stuff.
That kind of reminds me of the early podcasting days for the people that have been listening back when we first started and we were in that back room and we were literally like behind all the setup because we had two cameras going in two different angles and if you got in your chair and if you all of a sudden were like, oh no, I left my coffee in the room, it was like, oh no, I have to escape this. I can't. I know.
It was so complicated because there were desks and there were so many different microphones and cameras and it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of steps.
It was a lot.
But I
like to think that we're a lot. That's one of the greatest compliments a director can give you when you're on stage is
you're a lot.
Mr. Carroll, you're a lot.
You're a lot. Because you went big and then you went home.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. It's, every day is a miracle. And here we are for our next remote Zoom Biofriendly podcast.
Remote Zoom Biofriendly podcast.
Yeah, and
I'm getting over this weird illness. I don't know what it is.
I know, you poor fellow. I just had to, poor Noel. I haven't heard from Noel in a couple days, and I knew he was laid up, not feeling great. I mean, fingers crossed it was just a regular
I was not feeling
cold.
100% last podcast. I don't know if I said that or not.
You did. You did. You were not feeling great last podcast, and then we were joking about how the last one we were together, you faked it, baby. And then the last one we had together in person, I remember you joked, you coughed, and you're like, I don't want anybody to think I have the coronavirus. But I don't think...
It's just been a slow...
Yeah. But you don't think you've had it.
For the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. You don't think you've had it. You just think you probably got knocked down
Who knows, man? I think that with this thing, you've got to always assume every single time you have anything that you have coronavirus because that's the kind thing to do for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you are sick, and this is something that Dr. Hill said, our chief scientist, when I sort of announced to the team that I was missing a meeting because I was not getting out of bed very easily.
Yeah.
He said that one of the things that one of the reasons you even if it is a cold or flu or something else is that while you have that, the last thing on earth that you want is COVID-19 because that's where it gets you, right?
Yeah.
If you already got something else going on and then that thing hits you too, then you're in a whole lot of trouble. So, you do kind of have to assume, even when, like, no matter what, if you're sick with anything, you have to sort of say, okay, even if I don't have COVID, let's pretend I have COVID, and then self-isolate and
take
do
care
all
of yourself.
The things that they say to do just to be safe. So I don't know if it was, I never got a fever. And that was the thing that was, I think, the reason that I kind of hold on to the fact that I haven't had it yet.
Yeah.
But there's so many cases of people who haven't had fever that who knows. But I never got a fever. I'm still a little bit pushing through the end of the lung thing. Yeah. But it feels like a cold or like a mild flu, not even the worst.
Gotcha.
Well,
it's
not like when I got H1N1.
Well, you look like you're doing better. Yeah. You look like you're doing better.
Thank you.
So that's great.
Better.
Yeah,
I do. I feel better.
You got a great studio environment. I do need to imitate you on the stand, I think, because I
think that you should be in front of your bed like I am. And we should totally do this.
I can't in my bedroom. It's an impossible place. This is the only place in the house that I can get a signal on my internet, and the only place that I can guarantee I won't be interrupted by my children.
Right.
So
that's why I'm in here. Same thing.
Well, today we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the positive things, I guess you could say, the outcomes of being on lockdown and on quarantine.
Oh.
So
great.
yeah, because there's I don't know if our listeners have noticed, but people are indoors, and as a result of that, people are not driving, they're not going to work, they're not outside, not in the great outdoors, and as of recently, even that has been limited for a lot of us. But that means less air pollution. So
also,
silver lining.
Nobody's going on airplanes. I know that it's frustrating the airline industry, and I know that they're getting a massive bailout from Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
But people not going on airplanes has been one of the greatest things that's happened to our planet in the last 30 years in terms of environmental.
Yeah, I know. And it's interesting because when I started digging into this topic, right out of the gate, the positive stats are, the Bay Area, when they went on lockdown, within 2 weeks, it was like a 30% improvement in air quality. And then,
amazing.
And then in China, they have these NASA satellite views, and we'll share these on the panelist screen and tweet them out and whatnot. But they have the satellite from NASA footage of China and the air pollution, and it was anywhere from 10 to 30% within a couple of weeks as well. So you're seeing that, and then the improvements in a lot of Europe, of course, in Italy. Have you seen the images of the canals
in Venice?
In Venice, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So they're clear, which I mean, in some, one of the things I read, it was like, remember, it has a lot to do with the sediment of the water that gets kicked up by the use of it. But it's still amazing to see how much we affect the world that we live in, and now with nobody in the water. The water's clear. You see fish.
We affect the sediment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's like, well, that's sediment from us going in the water and kicking it up. And, okay, well, we do that too.
Yeah.
Like we do that too.
Yeah, and so one of these articles I was reading, it was like, well, the fish have always been there. You just haven't been able to see them because of the sediment. And it's like, yeah, but I'm guessing I know fish. And I know they fish preferred.
If there's one thing that Jacob knows, and this has been proven time and time again by scientific studies, that Jacob knows fish.
I know fish. And fish prefer to swim in clear, pretty water and not with a bunch of sediment just coming at them. You know what I mean? So
sediment drives them crazy.
It drives them nuts.
You should hear what the fish are saying about sediment. It's driving them nuts.
They have their rallies. No more sediment. No more. But and then one day they miraculously were like, it happened. Where have all the people gone?
We did it.
Yeah, that's
our protest worked. The Million Fish March worked.
Did it?
Million Fish Swim.
Yeah, the Million Fish Swim. But it is amazing, and there's been a lot of parts of Italy, dolphins have come back, and there's just wildlife. Oh, and then the other thing is you'll see these images of
that drives me. That's amazing to me. Dolphins in the canals of Venice.
Yeah,
that's because dolphins. Now fish, but you really know dolphins. I mean, you and dolphins have gone back for years.
Look, they call me Flipper Givens, and it's really because of my history with dolphins. I have a very close relationship with dolphins. So
close.
So close. I'm getting like a weird digital thing in our talking. Are you hearing anything?
It was probably going to end up in our podcast. I'm sure it's going to be.
Okay. Well, if you're listening, we're sorry about that.
Actually, it's probably not, because our recordings on the
GarageBand
we're doing individually on GarageBand will probably be clear.
Yeah,
but
it should
the
be
YouTube
clear.
video might have like random little
stutters and stuff.
Yeah,
oh shoot! Can we do a clap? Can you do a clap for me?
Oh yeah.
Do one for me.
Noel's clap.
Because actually, it ended up being a huge help. All I need is yours.
Yeah.
All I need is yours.
Okay. You can hear me on your
I can hear you in mine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, no, I can't. No, I can't.
I don't think you can. Yeah, I would do it. All right. Jacob knows. I don't know. Jacob's one who knows fish, not me. What do I know?
Look, if there's one thing I know, it's fish. If there's another thing I know more, it's dolphins. If there's one thing I don't know, it's audio and sound design. So here's my clap.
That's why I put you in charge of a podcast. That's hilarious.
Oh, I'm laughing so hard.
I think I hear children in the back. I think I hear my kids in the background. So if you hear my kids in the background, know that's my kids in the background.
Joyful noise. And I would imagine that everybody who listens to our show, that has become like white noise, like being at home and having the sound of just noise on the other side of the door. It's just
always there.
It's just always there. It just never stops. The only way we can not have that in the background, I think, is if we started podcasting together at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right. But then that would wake my son up, because his room is the next room over, and he hears everything.
Everything.
So what would happen is we'd be podcasting. Yeah. We'd laugh at some joke because, let's face it, we're hilarious.
We're silly boys.
Just insane.
The Biofriendly boys are silly.
So much silliness. Mm-hmm. And so humble. But Owen would pound on the door, come in, and say, like, "Why are you being so loud?" And then that would ruin the podcast. So we can't even do it at 1 a.m.
Unless I
went somewhere else. I guess I could set it up elsewhere.
No, I think this is great, but I think that this will be like we could have Owen as a feature on the show, like Johnny Carson had Ed McMahon, and he just comes in, he's like, "Well, you guys turn it down," you know.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's do it then. 1 a.m. recordings from right out.
Yeah. So, but back to the world stuff.
The world.
The world stuff. There are positive things. Oh, and some of the other images that have come out are cities where wildlife and animals are walking around, like in cities, like deer and just like, like, where is everybody?
Is this safe now?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Did we get the city back? Did our deer uprising actually work?
Did the plan to get the bat to do the disease to kill the humans work?
Did this behind the scenes animal negotiation to poison the humans with a bat disease?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's really wild to see, and for us too in Los Angeles, there's been some incredible photos that people have shared of, freeways and downtown LA and all these, always populated areas that have no one. And it is really surreal to see. It really is.
Well, the thing about, and I think this is, by the way, one of the reasons that California hasn't been hit as hard as probably it should have by now.
Yeah.
Is before our quarantine, at least in Southern California, but throughout the state for the most part, there was 3 weeks of rain.
Yeah.
Like it rained and it rained and it
true.
rained and it rained, and the timing of it couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
Because that kept people inside.
Yeah.
And that kept people, and then what was outside was washed and cleaned out.
Yeah.
And then, like, while the rainstorm was wrapping up and it was still going on, that they recommended we stay at home, and then they said, no, stay at home.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that more Californians were indoors sooner than in other places, just because
of the
we
rain.
Don't know what to do in the rain. We don't know.
The city
rain comes out and we all hide.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
I'd kind of even forgotten about that because, with each day, and you don't know what day it is, you start to forget. You start to forget things that were right before all this, and you're right. LA is a city that kind of goes quiet and shuts down when it rains, and people aren't outside as much. So that was a benefit to that.
Yeah, and I think that also made a head start on some of the cleanliness of the city. All right, so when it rains, it's clear. You can see, and you're like, wow, it's so clear, right? But not like this.
Yeah.
This is bananas. Like you look from like down in the hill, right? So in LA, all of our communications towers are on what they call Mount Wilson, which is it's the highest local peak,
which we hiked to. Just saying.
Which no, it's cool. It's that whenever you see pictures of Los Angeles and there's a snow-capped mountain in the background, that's Mount Wilson, and you'll see some antennae on top of it. And those normally look like kind of a distant towers, like kind of blobby and just far off, and you can you can tell they're towers. On a rainy day, they're you can see them, you can tell what they are. It's really good. Right now, if you look at those towers, you can see like the metal beams that come across them in order to the detail. It is wild. It's amazing to look and be like, wait a minute. A human can see that? I know. Like Catalina Island is an island that's a good fair distance. Don't quote me on this, but like 25 miles or something off the coast of LA. And it's normally invisible. It's like just kind of off in the distance. Now, not only can you see that island, but you can see like little islands beyond that and just like ocean. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. The clouds are fluffy. The sky is a shade of blue I don't recognize. Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. And I am going to quote you on that. What I'm going to do is on the front of this episode, I'm going to put in quotations. Noel says Catalina Island, because I think it's so funny when people say, "Don't quote me on that." What if I did the exact opposite and I wrote in quotes on the cover? Noel Carroll says Catalina is 25 miles. No, just kidding. But it is very, very surreal. Now, but I do have, so there's two things. Remember our what was it called? Our bummer run. I do have a bummer run.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of a little bit of a bummer run. But then but then after the bummer run's done, I'll circle back with I think some hopeful news. The bummer run is that while you go out there and you go, this is exciting to see the cleanliness in the air and the reduced kind of crowding of people and the pollution that happens from that. A lot of people in articles were saying, well, let's keep in perspective that there's a lot of downsides that have come from, single use has gone way up, plastic use has gone way up, and waste and medical waste, and that this strain on us is increasing, where we're getting improvements on the planet and some we're seeing an increase in others. So we all know that a global pandemic is not the solution that we want for climate change and the health of our planet. But
for climate change,
yes. Well,
it is.
It is. Yes.
Environmentalism,
yes.
It is not.
It is not. For the planet to breathe and feel good again, it's really doing it good for us to not be out there jacking it up all the time. So, but you're right that from an environmental standpoint, that is where we've got some challenges, because people of around the world and working in different industries are having to rely more upon single use and not reusable, and so that has increased it. Right,
and people who are afraid are using more just single use. Get rid of this. Get it out of my space.
Get out of my space.
And that's
right. But
I guess that's to be expected.
That's all I'm going to say in the bummer run. That's it. I was just going to say
that was a short bummer run.
It was a short bummer run.
That was a short bummer. I can live with that bummer run.
You can live with that bummer run.
Because we can take the positives out of this and feel like, okay, yeah, you're right. People are definitely more wasteful at the moment, and there's definitely more single use, and I get all that. But it is showing, I think, and I hope that this is something that people can see. It shows you the amount of impact that we have with our planes and our cars and our travel. What we do to the environment, and just by being out in the wilderness, the amount that we just drop garbage and crud all over. Right? Like, there's more waste now, but at least the waste is, for the most part, going where we plan on it going, right? Where it can be contained.
Yeah.
So that is better.
Yep.
But it's like it's pretty remarkable how quickly the planet will adapt. Like there's evidence that the ozone layer, like the hole, what's left of the hole in the ozone layer, has like significantly shrunk.
Yeah.
Just from this.
That's amazing.
Happening.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's fascinating. It's fascinating, and it almost makes me think we've come on to maybe what our holiday is, Jacob. I think we might know what it is. I think we may have figured it out.
What is it?
And it's impossible to do, but I don't think we should quit until we've done it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You know me. I'm a dolphin man. I never quit.
Never quits. Dolphins don't quit.
Dolphins don't quit.
Is that one? Dolphins don't quit?
It is. That goes on the tags. I'm going to have to write it down. Dolphins don't quit.
Dolphins don't quit.
Dolphins don't quit.
We're dolphins, people. All of us are. We don't quit.
We don't quit. So go on to what you were going to say.
So I think we stumbled on a holiday.
Okay.
Bring it. Here's my theory.
Okay.
I think that February appears to generally be the peak of the flu season. It starts around October.
Yes.
And then it kind of works its way up and up and up. And usually around February, it kind of peaks.
Right.
Now, a lot of these other kind of specialty diseases tend to work their way out here in a similar time frame, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little sooner. But it's kind of the time that people catch these diseases.
Yeah.
So, my idea is that we have Earth Month.
Month.
Or the the green reset.
Yes.
The planetary reset
Ooh,
button. Right?
I like that green reset. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do a green. We call it the Great Green Reset.
Yes.
Right. And the first week of it, we're all still at work. We're all still doing the voodoo that we do. It's all good, right? And that's in the beginning of February. Although I think February already is like Black History Month, so we already have.
I can't take over that one. Got to keep it how it is.
I don't know about the timing of this. We may have to work on this with others and get smarter brains.
Let's talk to the calendar people and let's see what we can do. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe smarter brains can help us figure out how to do this right. But my concept is sometime when it would also be helpful for reducing disease.
Right.
First week is it's an awareness week where we talk about, okay, so we're coming into, this is Green Month, so here's what we're doing to the planet. Here's what happened when we were all forced to hide in our homes. Right. And so we know that we can make a difference, so we're going to celebrate this and blah, blah, blah. Then there's a lot of education. And then what we do is for the kids is around like when a lot of schools do their winter break.
Right.
It's a couple of days. Some of them do it for even a week.
Sure.
The fancy schools that have lots of money call it ski week. But that week of time, you take that, you build it around that, and you build it around then you add 2 weeks, like maybe we start summer a week later and then begin school a week earlier. And then you take 2 of those weeks, you pop it on there, and then there's 3 weeks that the kids are off school, that they're home, and that we do a timed, planned, set up 3 weeks off where you're either working from home, or for the like service industry stuff, that's all that they can still be open, and like the stores can be open because there isn't actually a disease out there, but there's less people going out, and in that time, you don't drive except to do something you have to do. You don't
groceries,
travel. You don't go on an airplane to go do whatever.
Yeah.
And then as businesses, we just have to sort of plan for it and build it out and make it part of so it's not a shock and not a surprise. You can handle it economically if you plan for it.
Yeah.
And that'll be the thing that this is why they won't let us do it. It's because all these bosses will be like, we can't do this. But I think
if
I think you could. I actually think you could. I do because I think that look at what happens at Christmas.
Yeah.
In this country, it shuts down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it does.
It stops. It turns off.
Yeah.
The country shuts down for 2 weeks. The difference is, though, we travel. We go to places for Christmas. We go there, we go there. It's not good for the environment because we travel. We move around.
Right.
So if instead of doing that, we say, we're going to stay home and self-quarantine and help people not catch the flu. And while we're doing that, we're also going to help the environment be one with the environment and go look at nature. Go check out this park. Go to this place and have it be like a get in touch with Earth period of time where we stop traveling. We stop using all the... Right? And then it's a reset. And that's all. And for the kids,
green reset.
The Great Green Reset. And then for the kids, it becomes this rad time that they get to be home and not have to go to school, which they're going to love. Or maybe they do have to do their remote schooling. But I mean, honestly, my kids are loving that anyway.
Yeah.
So... I don't know, man.
I think it's great.
I think there's something there. I think there's something there.
I think that what you touched on here with this Great Green Reset, which is a fantastic idea, I'm all for it. And I think that is really what the end all of this episode is about, which is we've seen these improvements on the planet. So what are going to be the takeaways once this is over? Because it will be over. We're all going to go back to our lives. But what will change with us as a population, as a people, how we view things, how we view work and meetings, and what is we are able to accomplish from home. How will the psychology of the whole nation and the whole world shift from this, and what benefits can we get from that? What things can we learn and grow from? And that's kind of like what I think that is inspiring about the reduction of air pollution, the return of animals, the clearing of water. It's like, oh, if we just stop for a minute, then the world has a chance to kind of take a breath. And
to reset.
Yes, to reset, for the Great Green Reset. But there was a thing that I read, and this is an article that came out today, and this was, I thought, was very, very cool and uplifting. So this was an interview with Bill Gates, and he said how the coronavirus pandemic can help the world solve climate change. And he said, let me see, where's this? That idea of innovation and science and the world working together, that is totally common between these two problems. And so I don't think this has to be a huge setback for the climate, Gates told. The cooperation Gates is observing globally in the science community is encouraging, he says. In the science side and the data sharing side, you see this great cooperation going on. So he was talking about in this interview about how all the scientists and all the people and the innovators are really coming together in this great global effort to figure this out.
To try to fix this problem.
Yes.
Yep.
And how that will impact everything. Because it'll go, okay, we tackled this very complicated issue. We got through it. It was a hard time. Now, let's work together globally on the climate and the planet, and what are the solutions we can find, and how can we come together on this and figure out ways that we can reduce air pollution and get less people out in the streets all the time, and less travel, and less airplanes, and what is there a better system that can be put in place? And so that, for me, is very, very inspiring and very uplifting, because I think that we will emerge from this a better society. I just think we will. That's just how I like to think about it. So,
yeah, man, I think we will too. And I it's interesting to watch this and to see. It doesn't matter how much we hate each other, because apparently we seem to if you look at social media.
Yeah, right.
Even like when this kind of thing happens, it is fascinating to me the way people just change. Yeah. It's like that, whatever that trigger is, whatever that thing is that turns on that makes us want to fight each other, it just turns off for a minute.
It does.
And it goes, all right, okay, if that game's over, this little game we play where we hate each other, we have timeout, beep, bop, boop, boop, timeout. And then let's just fix this real quick, handle this problem. We're going to work together on this, get it done, and then we'll come back to kicking each other in the teeth.
Yeah.
And it keeps happening time and time again. It just keeps going on over and over again, and it's cool. It's just very cool to see. It's very cool to see. It's cool to see how humanity is working together. How when Italy falls to just disaster over this, how they get help from China. Like the Chinese doctors come in with help, lots of it, and to help to tackle it. It's cool, man. We are one planet, and we're one race. We're a human race, and it's neat to see. It's just neat to see that. It's always really neat to see that, and I hope that we do kind of soften a little bit with each other over this. That we kind of see that in the end, the basic things that matter we agree on.
Yeah, and I've seen so many funny memes. I mean, man, memes will get through. Get us through this whole thing. But one of my favorites was somebody tweeted, they said, after all this, I've learned that teachers deserve $1 billion because of all these parents that are just trying,
who have kids at their house,
darndest,
can't teach them,
just cannot figure out what they're doing, and just cannot, and don't realize how wonderful it is and how helpful it is to every day send your kids off to teachers and have them deal, and then you get them back, and they're your children, and you love and adore them. But it really does put in perspective how much you value them and how wonderful they are.
It is hilarious because it's it is another politically charged topic, and another one that shouldn't be. Because there isn't a reason why you wouldn't want to pay teachers a ton of money, really. Because if you think about it, if you break it down, if you have an incredibly competitive, difficult to enter industry that is responsible for nurturing, caring, and teaching young people to be better people.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And what's going to happen is the people who are doing that, because it's now it's valuable, right? Now you're making $200,000 a year to be a teacher, right? You're making just a killing as a teacher. So now everybody wants to be a teacher is what happens, because it's like, oh, I can make $200,000 being a teacher. I want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the best and brightest and most amazing people start to show up to be a teacher because they can make bank and have a great living doing it, right? So then they will do a better job of it because they're smarter and they're better at things. And I hate to say that, but the fact of the matter is that there's a wide variety of people, and there are some who are really good at stuff.
Right.
And so you're getting those people now caring for the kids.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Because then they grow up to be better because they're being taught by better people. So like it's a better planet overall if you've got a really competitive and valuable market of teachers.
Yeah.
So no, I'm all for it. I think the teacher range should be like 200,000 starting.
Seriously.
And like if you're a pro, if you've been doing it forever and you just rock, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, for sure. Just such a valued profession. Really need them. We cannot wait till school and classes return. And just the simple things. I just feel like, at least for a long while after this is over, I feel like anytime I sit down at a restaurant and I just eat nachos and drink a margarita, I'm gonna be like, this is the greatest thing that's happening to me right now, and I will not forget how great it is to not have to prepare every single meal in my home, because it does feel like sometimes it feels like right when we're done making a lunch, you're like, oh, now it's time for dinner. And we got to do that all again. And it's just like, oh man. Anyway, not that we've been supporting some with like, pick up here and there when we need it for our own sanity's sake, but still, it's just different.
I think you have to a little bit, right? Because these businesses, they need some help. They do need some help now and again. So I think that it's good to do that. And with gosh, man, some of these companies are so clever with the way they do their takeout. Yeah. And the way, it's all ordered in an app, and then you show up, and then you get your food, and you barely see anyone. It's pretty remarkable. Yeah, and I got it. Or even by phone, some of these phone-in places, they're like, totally. It's really cool.
Totally. Yeah. And whenever I go grocery shopping, we have a Trader Joe's by us, and shout out to if you have a Trader Joe's by you, they really, really do a good job, at least the one by us, on organizing like people going in and out of the store. They have everything's available, and they just have, limits on how much you can get of things, but it's very organized, and all the attitudes of all the employees was very positive and helpful. Yeah. And so it's just cool to see a lot of these businesses shining through this and being so great and really stepping up their game. So that's been cool to see.
It is. It's nice. It's a reminder of how people can rise above it and get help each other out and be better about this. Grocery store, the folks at the grocery stores, folks who are still working in the food industry to make it work and to get out there. Yeah. The folks who are doing the packing and the preparation of all that. And then just like people in logistics right now, the people who are in the shipping, like there's stats, we're living on that. We're living on them. The post office workers, like these people are all heroes, really. They are, because they're doing that. This is just beyond the obvious heroes in the hospitals, who I gotta say, the more you break down these numbers and the more you hear information, like out of Wuhan, you're hearing that they're claiming 2,500 deaths in Wuhan. Yeah. And then you're finding out that the cremations are in the range of 45,000. And you go, oh, those numbers don't quite
doesn't quite match up. Jeez.
Right? And so then you start to think, okay, so if that's the case, then it was way more widespread in Wuhan than we were told. Right. And it got a lot more people there than we think, and that the numbers I'm hoping at some point they'll come out, but the folks in Wuhan are like, that's not accurate. That's not, the numbers you're getting aren't accurate. Yeah. Which, they were hit first and they were blindsided, so it's actually, if China would sort of, like, this is a little conspiratorial, so I apologize if we're going to that level, everybody, because I know you don't come to the Biofriendly podcast for that.
It's okay. But they know who you are. They know who you are. They've been listening long enough.
Right. But since I'm here, I think that I encourage the leadership in China to realize that we're more understanding than you think, and that if you come up with the real numbers and say what happened, we won't be upset that it was devastating. We won't be upset at you that it was devastating. We'll just be sad that it's devastating, and then we can take the data and run with it. Right. But if those numbers are true, they match more like potentially what you're seeing in Italy and France and other places where they're having a hard time dealing with the overwhelm on the medical system. Yeah. And then that makes me look again at New York, and I go, man, these doctors are the bomb. They're
fantastic.
Awesome. We got a real hard time for our healthcare system, but perhaps the way that you get your healthcare is not ideal, and I can totally understand that.
Sure.
But the actual healthcare system itself, when put to the test, it's unbelievable.
They are rock stars.
Unbelievable.
Rock stars.
How well they are handling this, and how well they're dealing with the flood of people and keeping people alive.
I know.
I mean, the numbers that we have are worse than anybody's in terms of confirmed cases, and we're still below 2% on deaths. That's like, when you start to compare it to everyone except for Korea, that's amazing. And even Korea's close to 2%.
Yeah.
By the way, they need to put on a masterclass.
Yeah.
Korea. Because when they had MERS, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, they figured out how to do this. And dude, the whole world, like, Korea needs to go around the world
and teach everybody
and say, okay, so when this happens,
this is what you do.
You do this.
And this is how we can get through it.
They crushed it. They won the gold medal on this, and they should definitely teach the world, and we should listen, because they really crushed it. Yeah,
that should be something that definitely is a reference point for us in the future, and people should learn. That's really good to know. So man, it's just good to see. There's a lot of rock stars in this world, and like you said, we're one planet, we're one human race, and we're gonna get through this. We're gonna continue to bring content to you guys and exploring topics, and we're gonna get through. And people are amazing. People really are amazing, and I think that we can come through this and make a better world. So yes,
better world.
So that's pretty much it. That's today's episode.
That's it. Hey, I'm gonna do a pitch for us. I'm gonna do a plug for us. Yeah. Okay. If you are listening to this podcast, and you know who you are because you're listening to this podcast, there's nothing going on right now. The world is bored.
Yeah.
Everything you see, I quit Facebook because
why?
I couldn't anymore.
Why be on there?
I couldn't anymore. But because like so much of what you get, when your phone bings with new news, it's like 9 times out of 10 it's something that scares you.
Right.
And then you have to take a look at what's actually behind the data and go, okay, well, it's not as scary as I thought.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on, right?
Sure.
So we're in that world. There's Netflix and there's all that, but you're going to run out of shows eventually.
Eventually, you will watch all of Netflix. Eventually,
you will. You'll have done it. You'll have conquered Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Apple. Whatever. Yeah. There's only one show on Apple that everyone's watching, I think. Yeah. Anyways, that was a terribly mean thing to say. I'm sure Apple has lots of good shows.
There's a lot of great stuff, I'm sure, but I'm just not aware of any of it. So
I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. I'm sure that it's great content. There's a lot of hardworking people who made that content.
They'll never recover. They'll never recover from this. Apple.
I know when they hear me say this.
Such a struggling company.
I made a bad joke out of my butt. I just want to make that.
Yeah, it's okay.
So anyways, when you conquer all those and defeat all of the different networks, and you've seen all the content, you're still going to want more stuff.
I agree.
So what you need to do as a person listening to the show is to let your friend, just pick a friend and hound them.
Pick any friend.
Until they listen to the show.
Yes.
Hound them.
Yes.
Like just be endlessly, if everybody on the show hounded one person and said, listen to this because it will make all of your worries about the environment and about coronavirus fall into context.
Yes.
And then it'll be bright, and you'll have a good time, and you'll laugh, and you'll have fun.
It's an entertaining show, and it's fun for the whole family. You can play it out loud in your home because we're nice fellas.
We are not going to. Yes, your kids we have actually a lot of young listeners because parents listen to it with their kids, and the kids love it.
Yep.
So that's anyways, that's my point. Go tell a friend, get somebody to listen to it, because I think we need more positivity in the world, and I think we need more context for some of this stuff, because we are actually looking through the scary stuff and finding the context, which we will
continue to do. And this show will keep trucking. We're going to keep making stuff. We're going to keep putting it out there. And exactly what Noel said. So make sure you let people know about the Biofriendly podcast. You can find us anywhere. You Google it, it's out there.
Everywhere.
It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. It's on Stitcher. It's everywhere. And you can come join us on Facebook for the Painless Screen, where we post a lot of fun, silly stuff in relation to the episodes and beyond. We do, captioning pictures and quizzes and all sorts of fun stuff. So come join us over there. And you can find Biofriendly Planet on Instagram, Biofriendly Planet on Facebook. I mean, we're all over there, man. So just get out there, come join us, jump in the conversation.
Have fun. Have a laugh. Have some fun. Be part of the gang.
Yeah.
Come join. We want you in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reach out to us, too, if you have something that you're dying to know more about, a subject during this time that you're like, I really wish I knew more about this, and we'll tackle it. So just let us know.
Yeah, please. Because and by the way, I do apologize. We promised more episodes, not less.
It's okay.
That's because I got sick.
It's okay. Honestly,
I don't know what.
We only promised that a week ago, I'm pretty sure. And so we're still doing good. We're still churning them out for our regular scheduled time. And we are working on some fun, creative ideas that we can throw in there too. So those will be coming very soon.
Nice.
So
that was fun.
Yes, it was fun.
Thanks for a fun podcast, Jacob.
Thanks for a fun podcast, Noel. We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Featuring greater parasympathetic nerve activity.
More than charismatic megafauna.
Nature's perfect. Just look at eggs.
You did it. And here's the new one, I'm pretty sure, which is dolphins don't lie. What?
Quit.
Dolphins don't quit. I thought it was lie. Yeah. Dolphins don't quit.
Dolphins don't quit.
You can take that to the bank.
You can take that to the bank.
Dolphins don't quit. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Biofriendly Podcast.
See ya.
Bye.
La, 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 la.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.